Patagonia is where the earth forgot to be tame, where the glaciers calve into turquoise lakes with the thunder that echoes for kilometers, where the granite spires pierce the sky like the gods left their towers unfinished, and where the wind blows so hard it leans the trees horizontal and pushes the hikers backwards on the trails. While the rest of South America built the cities and the civilizations, Patagonia stayed wild. The 400,000 square miles of mountains, glaciers, steppes, and fjords split between Argentina and Chile that represent the last true frontier on the continent. We're talking about the region where the Perito Moreno Glacier advances instead of retreating, where the Torres del Paine granite towers rise 2,500 meters straight from the steppe, where the condors soar on the 3-meter wingspans, and where the guanacos outnumber the people by significant margins. This isn't the Patagonia of the fleece jackets and the outdoor gear catalogs. Well, it is. But the real Patagonia makes those marketing photos look timid. So pack the layers, prepare for the wind, and welcome to the last wild frontier. Torres del Paine is the crown jewel, where the 3 granite towers, the turquoise lakes, and the relentless wind create the most spectacular national park in South America without question. The park in southern Chilean Patagonia encompasses the 181,000 hectares of mountains, glaciers, lakes, and rivers. The Torres, the 3 granite towers, rise 2,500 meters above sea level, giving the park its name and its iconic image photographed at sunrise when the towers glow pink. Yet the W Trek is the 80-kilometer route taking 4 to 5 days, connecting the valleys and the viewpoints. The Gray Glacier calves into the Gray Lake with the icebergs floating in the milky water. The wildlife includes the guanacos, the Andean condors, the pumas, and the flamingos. The wind can exceed 100 kilometers per hour. Visit from November to March. Have you hiked to the base of the 3 granite towers where the sunrise turns the stone pink? Perito Moreno is the advancing glacier where the 250 square kilometer ice field, the spectacular calving, and the accessible viewing create the most dynamic glacier experience on Earth. The glacier in Los Glaciares National Park is one of only 3 Patagonian glaciers still advancing instead of retreating. And the ice front is 5 kilometers wide and 74 meters tall above the water, with another 170 meters below the surface. The glacier advances across the Brazo Rico Channel, periodically damming it until the water pressure causes the dramatic rupture. The last occurred in 2016. The calving happens constantly, with the chunks of ice the size of buildings crashing into the Lago Argentino, creating the thunderous sounds. The boardwalk system allows the face-to-face viewing. The ice trekking tours walk on the glacier surface with the crampons. Visit year-round. Have you watched the building-sized chunks of ice crash from the advancing glacier? Mount Fitzroy is the granite needle where the 3,405-meter peak, the technical climbing routes, and the sunrise alpenglow create the most iconic mountain profile in Patagonia. Yeah, the mountain on the Argentina-Chile border was called Chalten, the Smoking Mountain, by the indigenous Tehuelche because the clouds surrounding the peak resembled the smoke. The first ascent in 1952 by the French expedition took multiple attempts due to the extreme weather and the technical difficulty. The Cerro Torre, visible nearby, is considered one of the most difficult climbs in the world. The Laguna de los Tres hike, the 10-kilometer trail from El Chalten, reaches the lagoon at the mountain's base, where the sunrise illuminates the peak in the pink and orange alpenglow. The weather window for the clear views is measured in hours, not days. Visit from December to February. Have you hiked to the glacial lagoon where the sunrise turns the granite needle pink? El Chalten is the trekking capital where the mountain access, the frontier atmosphere, and the dramatic growth create the base camp for the Patagonian hiking. The village sits at the base of Mount Fitzroy in the northern section of Los Glaciares National Park. The town was founded in 1985 as the Argentine territorial claim against the Chilean border dispute, making it one of the youngest towns in the country. The population of 1,500 swells to the thousands during the trekking season. The town offers the free access to the trails entering directly from the village without the park fees or the permits. The Laguna de los Tres, the Laguna Torre, and the longer multi-day circuits depart from the town. The microbreweries, the gear shops, and the hostels cater to the trekking community. The infrastructure remains basic with the gravel streets. Visit from November to March. And have you based yourself in the frontier village where the trails start directly from the gravel streets? Los Glaciers is the massive reserve where the 47 glaciers, the 600,000 hectares, and the UNESCO status create the greatest concentration of ice outside the polar regions. The park in Argentine Patagonia encompasses the southern section of the Andes with the elevations ranging from 200 meters at the lakes to over 3,000 meters at the peaks. The park contains the 47 glaciers fed by the southern Patagonian ice field, the third largest ice reserve in the world after Antarctica and Greenland. The park divides into the northern section around Mount Fitzroy and El Chaltén, and the southern section around the Perito Moreno Glacier near El Calafate. The Uppsala Glacier is the largest in South America, covering 595 square kilometers, though it's rapidly retreating. The wildlife includes the guanacos, the Andean condors, the huemul deer, and the pumas. Visit from November to March. Have you explored the park where 47 glaciers flow from the third largest ice field? If Patagonia's wild beauty from the granite towers to the advancing glaciers has you reaching for the hiking boots, smash that subscribe button because Eco Nomad is halfway through and the marble caves, the scenic highways, and the end of the world are still coming. Like, comment, and share if the last wild frontier is calling you. Hit the bell so Eco Nomad never misses your feed. Ushuaia is the end of the world where the southernmost city, the Beagle Channel, and the Antarctica Gateway create the most remote urban experience on the planet. The city on Tierra del Fuego Island claims the title of the southernmost city in the world at 54 degrees 48 minutes south, though the Chilean Puerto Williams argues the distinction. The population of 80,000 makes it the largest settlement in Tierra del Fuego. The city sits between the Marshall Mountains and the Beagle Channel, named after the HMS Beagle that carried Charles Darwin through these waters in 1833. The former prison, the Presidio, held Argentina's most dangerous criminals in the early 1900s and now houses the museum. The Antarctica cruises depart from Ushuaia, making it the gateway to the frozen continent. The skiing at Cerro Castor operates from June to October. The king crab, the centola, is the local specialty. Visit year-round. Have you stood at the end of the world where the Antarctica beckons across the Drake Passage? Marble Caves is the geological wonder where the turquoise water, the swirling marble formations, and the kayak access create the most surreal landscape in Patagonia. The caves on the General Carrera Lake, Chile's largest lake, were carved over 6,000 years by the wave action eroding the calcium carbonate formations. The marble walls swirl in the blue, the white, and the gray, patterns reflecting in the turquoise water, creating the otherworldly colors. The three main formations include the Marble Chapel, the Capilla de Marmol, the Marble Cathedral, the Catedral de Marmol, and the Marble Cave, the Caverna de Marmol. The lake's turquoise color comes from the glacial flour, the fine sediment suspended in the water. The formations are accessible only by the boat or the kayak from the town of Puerto Rio Tranquilo. The water level fluctuates seasonally. Visit from December to February. Have you kayaked into the swirling marble cathedral where the turquoise glacial water reflects the formations? Carretera Austral is the scenic highway where the 1,240 kilometers of gravel road, the fjords and the glaciers, and the remote settlements create the greatest road trip in South America. The highway through Chilean Patagonia was constructed under the Pinochet government from 1976 to 1996 to connect the isolated southern regions and assert the territorial sovereignty. The route runs from Puerto Montt in the north to Villa O'Higgins in the south, mostly unpaved, requiring the high-clearance vehicle and the spare tires. And the road passes through the temperate rainforests, the hanging glaciers, the turquoise rivers, and the tiny settlements with the populations in the dozens. The ferry crossings are necessary at the multiple points where the fjords interrupt the road. The Culotte Hanging Glacier, the Marble Caves, and the access to the northern Patagonian ice field are along the route. The entire journey requires the 7 to 10 days minimum. Visit from December to March. Have you driven the 1,240-kilometer gravel highway where the gas stations are 100 kilometers apart? Bariloche is the alpine town where the Swiss architecture, the chocolate shops, and the lake and mountain combination create the most developed resort in Patagonia. The city of 130,000 sits on the shore of Nahuel Huapi Lake, surrounded by the Andes peaks in the northern Argentine Patagonia. Boom! The Swiss-style architecture reflects the European immigration in the early 1900s, creating the alpine village atmosphere. The chocolate industry is the city's claim to fame, with the dozens of artisan chocolatiers lining the Mitre Avenue. The Cerro Catedral ski resort operates from June to October as one of the largest ski areas in South America. The Circuito Chico, the small circuit, is the 60-kilometer scenic drive around the lake and the mountains. The Nahuel Huapi National Park, established in 1934, is Argentina's oldest national park, protecting the 717,000 hectares of mountains, lakes, and forests. The Arayan trees with the cinnamon-colored bark grow uniquely in the region. Visit year-round. Have you eaten the artisan chocolate in the Swiss-style alpine town surrounded by Argentina's oldest national park? Tierra del Fuego is the sub-Antarctic wilderness where the end-of-the-world location, the Beagle Channel coastline, and the Beaver Dams create the southernmost national park in the world. The park covers 63,000 hectares of mountains, forests, lakes, and coastline on the Tierra del Fuego island west of Ushuaia. The coastal trail follows the Beagle Channel shore, offering the views across to the Chilean islands and the occasional sea lions on the rocks. The Laguna Esmeralda hike climbs through the forest to the turquoise lagoon surrounded by the peaks. The North American beavers, introduced in 1946 for the fur industry, have become the invasive species, with the estimated 100,000 animals creating the dams that flood the forests. The Southern Fuegian Railway, the train at the end of the world, follows the old prison railway route. The park marks the southern terminus of the Pan American Highway. Visit from November to March. Have you hiked the coastal trail in the southernmost national park where the Pan American Highway ends? So there you have it. 10 destinations proving Patagonia earned the title of the last wild frontier, not through the marketing, but through the raw, relentless, breathtaking reality. From the Torres del Paine granite towers rising 2,500 meters from the steppe to the Perito Moreno Glacier advancing against the global trend. From the Fitzroy alpenglow that appears for hours, not days, to the marble caves carved by 6,000 years of turquoise waves. From the end-of-the-world Ushuaia to the 1,240-kilometer gravel highway through the fjords, Patagonia doesn't compromise, doesn't apologize, and doesn't care if you're ready.
Yo, the wind will push you sideways on the trails. The weather will change 5 times in 1 hour. The glaciers will calve with the thunder that stops your heart. And the mountains will glow pink for exactly 15 minutes at sunrise if you're lucky enough to see them through the clouds. The guanacos will watch you struggle. The condors will soar overhead on the 3-meter wings, and every single kilometer will remind you that nature still has places where it makes the rules, and you follow them or you leave. If Patagonia's untamed beauty called to you today, smash that subscribe button and follow Echo Nomad for more destinations where the wild still wins. Drop a comment telling us which Patagonian adventure you're attempting. Are you Team Iconic Peaks with Torres del Paine and Fitzroy?
Up Team Glacier experiences with Perito Moreno and Los Glaciares, or Team Remote expeditions with the Carretera Austral and Tierra del Fuego?